Danang, a city in Vietnam, a popular digital nomad destination lately, and a city that I myself don't really like as a long-term destination, and I'll talk about why. I'll talk about my personal experience, and I also talk about practical things. So at the end of watching this video, I think you are gonna be a big step closer to making that decision. If you are going to Danang and if you are going to stay here for a longer time. First, what is Danang? Danang is a medium-sized city in Vietnam. It's not at the very south of Vietnam, so accordingly it's not super hot here all the time. For example, now in February it's around plus 20 degrees, but it can be very cloudy and gray and sometimes rainy. Take that into account. Danang is an affordable city. For many, that's the number one reason to go to Danang. The value for money that you are getting here is very, very good. In some regards, it's amazing. And third big thing is Danang is a beachside town, and the area where most of tourists are staying and most of long-term travelers, digital nomads are staying, it's by the beach. There are some very good things about Danang, but there are also some serious downsides. Second thing, what I personally don't like about Danang. The number one thing is the road culture and the noise that comes from it. You see, there are lots of motorbikes, not that many cars, but all of this traffic, it creates lots of noise. They are beep, 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 beeping all the time, honking at you non-stop, honking when they are approaching a crossing a road, another car, another vehicle, honking all the time, and that's super annoying. Second thing is that they almost never stop. Don't expect to go across the road on a pedestrian crossing. You will be beep, 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 beep at. Don't expect cars or motorbikes to stop. As a result, it's loud, even though there is not that much of traffic, and it makes you feel unsafe when you are outside, when you need to cross a road. Even if there is a traffic light and there is a green light, sometimes you can't expect that the cars or motorbikes or both of them will stop. That's a big thing. That's a big thing that I don't like about Danang. Second big thing that I don't like about Danang is that it can be stinky because of smoking and because of trash. Not always, not everywhere, but that's a thing to expect. And the third thing, probably the second biggest thing, is groceries and supermarkets, convenience stores. They are average at best. Don't expect things like ready-made meals, things that you can expect, for example, in Thailand or Japan or South Korea. Expect snacks, expect, I don't know, spices, raw meat, but don't expect much in regards of ready meals or, for example, healthy snacks or protein drinks, protein bars. There just isn't that in these shops and also in bigger places. But here in Danang, in the main touristy area, only small touristy convenience stores are available. The biggest supermarket there is also like, it's okay, but not great. Number 3, where to stay in Danang. I'll mention 3 areas. 1, the area by the beach, the area where most of tourists are staying. It's a small area, nice area, hotels, guest houses, some apartments, restaurants, lots of places where to go, but expect quite a lot of tourists in that area. I personally don't really like it because it's so touristy there. Second area that I'll mention is my personal favorite. It's on the other side of the river. Yes, you are gonna be something like 5 kilometers away from the beach, but at the same time you are gonna be feeling more like in a real city. It's right across the river, and the closer to the river you are, in my opinion, the best. And the third area that I like and have also stayed myself is area near the river, but on that side where most of tourists are staying. It's also an okay area, can feel too empty at some places at some hours of the day, but you can find some nice apartments there in lower buildings. Don't expect high rises there. Expect something like 5-6 story, maybe 3-story buildings with a few apartments in them. This is what you can expect there. Some nice cafes nearby. So this is the things that you can expect there. For me personally, this is the second best place where to stay in Danang. This is where I feel the best. Number 4, everyday things in Danang. So food, gyms, things to do, places where to go and do work on your laptop. Let's start with the food. Food, if you want to go and eat out, it's good, but you must like Vietnamese food. And for me personally, for example, that means you must like those few dishes like po soup, noodles, spring rolls, rice, banh mi. If, for example, you don't like 3 out of top 5 these dishes, there is a chance that you will feel like there is nothing really to eat, because the variety in Vietnam isn't that big. Like for example in Thailand, and again I'm mentioning Thailand because for me personally Thailand is like the place to strive for, like the good example here in the region. So food, that's about the local food. Good thing is that there is quite a good variety of international food, and the best thing about that is that the quality and the prices are, in my opinion, good. So that makes the food part okay, good, depending on what you are looking for. If you like Vietnamese food, it's amazing, and the value for money here is amazing. Lots of cafes where you can go and do some work on your laptop. Lots of people are doing that, not only foreigners but also locals. So that means there are many places where to go for that. Things to do. There are some day trip options. You can easily take a bicycle or a motorbike and go explore the area. There are places where to go, I think, in that regard. And when it comes not to typical tourist things, but to things that people who are staying long term, like digital nomads. For digital nomads, I think there are quite a lot of things to do. But if you are a typical tourist, most likely you are gonna run out of things to do in a day or two, maybe 2-3 days. So that's about things to do. Gyms. I personally have gone only to one. It was, I would say, 6 out of 10. I would go to that place again, so I'll put the name of the place on the screen. From what I found looking on places on Google Maps, there are at least 2 or 3 similar quality gyms here in Danang. So that means there are places to choose from. There is not just one, but I haven't gone to those places. That's only my impression from seeing them on Google Maps. What about food in Danang? Like I already mentioned, food is good, especially if you like the local food, if you like those few dishes that are most popular and that you can get everywhere. Po, banh mi, sandwich, noodles, rice. For example, I don't like rice here, but I really love po and banh mi, and I can eat them like every day. So for me, it's great. For you, depends if you like the local food. When it comes to international food, I already mentioned that international food is also available here, thanks to all the foreigners, tourists spending long times here. So in that regard, it's also good, but don't expect much of groceries and supermarkets and convenience stores. You won't get the same, you won't get almost any these kind of foods from those places, from supermarkets, groceries and convenience stores. You will either going to eat out or cook yourself. When it comes to prices, to all those things that I mentioned, they are almost unbelievable. For 10 American dollars you can easily get a couple of coffees in a nice coffee place, lunch, dinner, maybe some dessert, maybe a couple of desserts, maybe 2 or 3 more coffees. Prices are really good if you are earning in the West. If you have a budget of, let's say, 1.5 or 2,000 American dollars a month, then you can expect a pretty good life. What are the prices in Danang? I think it's already clear for you that the prices are good and the value for money here is great. Like I already mentioned, for 10 American dollars you can get several coffees, maybe a dessert, lunch, dinner. It's all possible. So in the food regard, the value is amazing, and I really love it, since I'm a person who likes the local food as well, and I love the Vietnamese coffee. If you don't like the Vietnamese coffee, you're gonna be paying a bit more for the coffee. Second thing, accommodation. Hotels start at around $10 to $15 a month. If you are looking for an apartment, you are gonna be paying most likely a bit more, something more like $20 a day, so maybe $600 a month. But it all depends from what you are expecting from the place. If you are fine with a small studio, you may find a place also for something like 400 American dollars a month. But if you are thinking of something more like 1 bedroom and a separate living room and a kitchen, you are looking at 600-700 American dollars a month. Transportation. In this city you can also easily go on living without transportation. You can go to places by walking, and you can take a Grab motorbike or Grab car taxi when you need it and pay, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 American dollars to go to the places that you want to get to. Number 7. What is the weather like in Danang? At the moment I have experience with Danang only in February, and in February it has been gray, cloudy or rainy or all of this for, let's say, 70% of the time, so 20 out of 30 days. If you are expecting a beautiful sunny beach weather, most likely you don't want to come to Danang in February. Go later. In January and December, from what I know, it's even worse. It's rainy, more cloudy, more gray. If you want a warmer, sunnier weather, go later. You will feel better then. That's it about Danang. See you soon.